Hi, in today's video we're going to take a look at using ffmpeg to trim audio and video with a start time and a position. There's two ways you can trim audio and video with ffmpeg, either using a duration or a to position, and I'll explain the difference. If we have a look at the ffmpeg documentation, we can see we've got two options here, the -T for duration and the -2 for position. And the way these work is, if you place the -T option after the -I option, it records for a duration. And if you place the -2 option before the -I option, it records to a position. So I'll switch across and show you some code so it makes some sense. So what we have here is ffmpeg recording for a duration. So you can see here we've got the start time, which is 1 minute, followed by the input file and the -T option for 1 minute 30. And what this does is this creates a clip starting at 1 minute with a duration of 1 minute 30 seconds. The position option is placed before the -I option here. So we have a clip starting at 1 minute to 1 minute 30, followed by the -I option. And what that does is that creates a clip starting at 1 minute with a position of 1 minute 30, which is a duration of 30 seconds. So again, the difference is where the option is placed. If the -T option is after the -I option, it records for a duration. If the -TO option is placed before the -I option, it records to a position. So let's have a look at how this works now. So what I'm going to do is come across here and switch across to the terminal. And what we have here is a copy of Big Buck Bunny. So what we'll do is we'll just come across here. Okay, that's a good point. So what we've got here is 3 minutes 13. So say we want to record from 3 minutes 13 to 3 minutes 29. So that's going to be a 10-second clip. So what we do is we run trim clip 2 with the -H option to provide the help. And what's the, if I can remember what the, oh, there we go, yeah. Let's do that again. So with the -H option, it will show you the help for the script. So what you can see here is we have trim clip 2 -S for the start position, -I for the input file, -T for the output duration, the output position rather. So what we're going to do is run trim clip 2, start, 3 minutes 19, so that's 3:19 in Big Buck Bunny 2:03:29. And what you'll see here, the output format of the script will actually include the start time and the end time of the clip, so you can easily identify what the actual clip is referring to in the video. So we can see here, we've got the file name, Big Buck Bunny, so you can see the file it's processed. The start time is 3:19 and it's recording to 3 minutes 29. So if we play that, what you see here is we've got a 10-second clip. Very sad. Okay. I think you get the gist with that. So the other script I have is called trim clip. And what that does is that uses a duration. So if we run trim clip -H, what you'll see here is the -T option is the number of seconds after the start time. So trim clip if I do the same thing with the trim clip script, 319 in to Big Buck Bunny 20029, what this is going to do, oops, what did I do wrong? Oh, my bad. 20329. What this is going to do is actually create a clip that starts at 3 minutes 29 and has a duration of, it's going to start at 3 minutes 19 and it will have a duration of 3 minutes 29 seconds. And that is because the -T option is placed after the -I option. I'll just leave this to chunder away for a second. You can see here it's almost done. Okay. So this is the first one here is the script. We create the output we created with the trim clipped to script with the position and a start time of 319 and a position of 3 minutes 29, whereas the trim clip script, which uses a duration, starts at 3 minutes 19 and has a duration of 3 minutes 29. So that creates a clip from 3 minutes 19 to 6 minutes 48. So you can see here, this is a 3 minute 29 second clip. So that is the difference between the two scripts. And let me just switch back here to the laptop. So again, -T after the -I is the duration, -TO before the input is the position. So let's have a look at the script we've got here. So this is the trim clip to script, which is based on the trim clip script, which uses a duration. So what we have here is a list of the dependencies, the usage. So when you type -H, it'll print this out. We have some error messages, checking the number of arguments passed to the script. And this is the get opt. And this is the options that you use with the script, like the -S for the start time, -I for the input file, -T for the position, -O is optionally the output file you want to give it, and -H is the help. And what we can see here is all of these options have a number that a letter that corresponds to the option. So we have -S, we have start equals opt-arg. And what this means is start is equal to the options argument. So what that means is the start variable is going to be equal to the start time you pass in, like 00:01:00. The in file is going to be equal to the in file you pass in. The end is going to be equal to the -T option, which is the position you're recording to. And optionally, the out file is the name you want to give to the output file. If you don't want to use the automatic file name, if you want to give it a custom name, you can go -O and give it a custom name. So that's the get ops. Then what we have down here is the variables. And this is how we get the file name. So we trim off the file path and the extension to just get the file name. And what we have down here is we actually check the MIME types. So what this does is it actually checks what file you're processing, whether it's an MP3, a WebM file, a MP4, an MKV. And later on, what it will do is it will actually run a function based on the MIME type of the file and use a custom ffmpeg command to actually trim the audio and video. So what we have down here is defaults for the variables if not defined. So this is the default file names, basically. The input file name, the start, and the end time. Okay, we've got some more checks down here. And this is these are the functions. So this is the trim video function. So you can see we've got ffmpeg. We hide the banner. So normally when you run ffmpeg, it will say ffmpeg built with these options. And what we do is we hide that. We've got the start time down here. So you can see here, start, end, in file. And those correspond to these options in get ops down here. So it's using the options that you're passing in with the -s, -i, and -t options in the function. Okay, let's go back down. So you can see here the start time, the end time, which is the position, and the in file. And what you'll notice, as I said, is the start time and the 2 are before the -i option. And this is what allows it to record to a position in the video instead of a duration. We then have the audio codec, the video codec. We set it to use move flags with a fast start option. And what that does is that creates a file that is web ready that can be streamed. We set the container output, which is MP4. And what we have here is this out file, video file default. And what this does is if you use the -o option and give it a custom file name for the output, it will use that. But if this variable isn't set, it will fall back to the video file default, which is up here, video file default, and that is the input file name followed by the start time and the end. So that's the position. So that was the format I showed you in the terminal when I was creating the clip with Big Buck Bunny. So it will show you the file name, the start time, and the position it's actually recording to. And this is useful if you're creating a lot of clips from the video, because then you'll have an exact record of where the clips actually come from in the video. So that's the trim video function. Then we have functions for WebM, AAC, M4A, MP3, WAV, OGG files. And then what we have down here is a case statement. And what this does is this checks the file type. And what this then does is, depending on the MIME type of the file you're processing, whether it's a video or an audio, MP3, M4A, WAV, whatever, it will then run the appropriate function. So if it's a video file, a MP4 video file, is going to run the trim video function and create an MP4. If it's a MP3, what it's going to do is it's going to trim the MP3 file and create a new MP3 file. So that's the trim clip 2 script. And this is the documentation, as I said. And what we have here is the GitHub repository of my ffmpeg scripts. And you can see this is the documentation for the trim clip 2 script. So what you'll see here is the explanation of actually how it works and the options that you can use here. Here's the script usage, how you run the script help, and the output of the script help. You can also run these scripts with, I need to fix that, should say trim clip 2, batch process. You can run these scripts with the find command to find all the MP4s in a directory and automatically trim them to a certain position, basically. So that's the English version. And what we have here is the German version. I created a repository of all the scripts in German as well. Funny enough, I actually get more viewers from Germany than I do from the UK. So this is Trim and Clip Zoo. So I hope that's the correct name for the script. That's what I knocked up with Google Translate. So you can see this is basically the same thing, but just in German. So that's how the script works. There's Ada running away. So again, just to refresh the difference between recording for a duration versus recording to a position. So when you're recording for a duration, what you have is the start time, which is SS, the input file, which is -I, and the -T option after the -I option. And so again, this starts at 1 minute and it has a duration of 1 minute 30. So this will create a clip starting at 1 minute with a duration of 1 minute 30 seconds. Whereas the position, you have the -TO option before the -I option. So this starts at 1 minute to 1 minute 30 seconds. So this will create a clip starting at 1 minute with a position of 1 minute 30, which is a duration of 30 seconds. So hopefully that all makes sense. So as I said, you've got two ways you can do this. You can either record for a duration with the trim clip script, or you can record to a position. Now with the trim clip script, sometimes you need to actually work out the sort of duration of the clip. So what I have is another script called sexagesimal time. And what that does is that calculates the sexagesimal duration by subtracting the end time from the start time. So sexagesimal time is this format here, hours, minutes, seconds. So if we wanted to work out the duration for a clip, for the trim clip, what we do is run start time, say 2 minutes 39, and we want to record to, say, 5 minutes 14 or something. Okay. 05:14. What that will do is that will actually give you the duration, because sometimes it's actually quite difficult to work out the duration that you want to record for. So that's the difference between the various ways you can create clips with ffmpeg, either with a duration or with a position. And it really just depends where you put the -T option. The -T and TO option are mutually exclusive. So you can actually just use the -T option instead of TO and place it before the -I option, I believe, and it will do the same things. But I just thought it made it clearer to use the -TO option here. So again, let's do that one more time. So trim clip 2, start time, say we want to do 5 minutes 30, input big buck bunny to 6 minutes 49, just as a example, 0649. And again, if you want to give it a custom name, you can just do -O custom name dot custom name dot mp4 like that. For Christ's sake, like that, and it will create a file of a custom name. But if you omit that, it's going to create a clip with the start and the position. So what this is going to do, this is going to create a 1 minute, was it 19-second clip? If my maths is right. Okay. That's a good clip. So it gets me every time, that one. So you can see here, just go back to the beginning just to watch that bit again, because it's funny. No. So you can see this is a 1 minute 19-second clip. If I go back to the beginning, 1 minute 19, and that corresponds to the settings we gave it. So start time, input file 2, and that's the position we're recording to. So it just makes it easier than actually having to work out the duration. Sometimes you want to specify a duration for a clip. You want to specifically record 1 minute, 30 seconds or whatever, 10-second clip. Other times you may want to actually record to a position. So that's how you do it. And I'll put links to all this under the video and hope that helps out.